Chosen ones, what I'm about to share will shock you, and it's no accident you're watching this right now. God has led you here because something powerful and urgent is happening. An unusual emergency is coming, and it demands your immediate attention. You are no longer just waiting in hope. You are being called to act. God is warning you to mask up now and do not breathe freely because a dangerous spiritual and physical fog is approaching fast. This fog will spread through the air and attack those who are unprepared. This is more than a warning, it's a command. Your survival depends on it. But you, the chosen one, are already spiritually protected in ways others are not. However, this protection only holds if you obey God's instructions fully. Wear your mask, cover your mouth, and most importantly, stay silent. Speak too much and you risk falling into traps that will harm you. Before we dive deeper into this urgent message, pause now and take 3 steps. Hit the like button, subscribe, and join the chosen ones preparing for what's coming. Comment the number 98, a sacred number that will amplify the spiritual energy protecting you. If you're truly a chosen one, you will watch this video until the end, because your spirit already knows this message is for you. If you're not ready, you might not make it, but if you are, your life will never be the same. The fog is coming. The time to mask up is now. Are you ready? The moment has come, chosen one. A divine command echoes through the heavens, urging you to put on your spiritual armor immediately. This isn't just about a physical mask. It's a sacred shield that guards your very soul from an invisible enemy. The world is on the brink of an unprecedented spiritual battle, and your spirit is vulnerable like never before. If you ignore this call, you risk losing more than your health. You risk your eternal light. Every breath you take without this protection opens a gateway to danger. God's warning is clear. Mask up now. This is your lifeline, your spiritual safeguard. Imagine a fortress without walls. That's what your soul would be without this mask. The fog coming is no ordinary mist. It's a spiritual tempest aimed squarely at those who walk awake in this world. The time to act is now, for hesitation will cost dearly. You've been chosen, not by chance, but by divine purpose. This calling is urgent because you are the light in the darkness. But even lights can be snuffed out if left unprotected. Your spirit's survival depends on obedience to this heavenly decree. This mask isn't just fabric, it's a symbol of your readiness to face what's coming. A symbol of faith, discipline, and divine protection. This isn't a drill or a gentle suggestion. It's your final warning. The spiritual fog is advancing, creeping silently, ready to invade through the air you breathe and the words you speak. God commands you to stay silent, for your tongue is the greatest weapon and also the greatest risk. Every word spoken carelessly can become a crack through which evil seeps in. Imagine standing on a battlefield where your own voice could be your downfall. This is the reality you face. Silence now becomes your strongest defense, the mask for your soul that protects you from spiritual contamination. Resisting the urge to speak, to argue, or to protest is no easy task, but it is essential. Your survival depends on stillness and restraint in the coming days. You are asked to spiritually lock in, to retreat inward, hold firm, and remain disciplined. The chaos outside may tempt you to lash out, but it's precisely in those moments that you're most vulnerable. This divine silence is not a punishment, but a sacred shield that God has entrusted only to you. Do not let the moment pass unnoticed. Embrace this final warning as a blessing and a lifeline. There's a fog approaching, but this is no ordinary weather pattern. This is a mysterious, spiritual fog, unlike anything the world has ever witnessed. It is unseen by the naked eye, yet deadly in its reach, creeping through the air and seeping into the souls of those who are spiritually awake. Unlike normal sickness, it carries a threat that transcends the physical. This fog doesn't harm the spiritually dead, those disconnected from the light, but it hunts those who walk in spiritual awareness. The air itself becomes a weapon, and even the simple act of breathing can expose you to danger. It's like walking through a minefield, invisible to the human senses, where every breath is a potential trap, every word a portal for invasion. What makes this fog terrifying is its unpredictability and stealth. It moves silently, blending into the natural world, waiting to ensnare the unwary. This is not just a test of physical endurance, but a profound spiritual trial. The world must prepare, but most importantly, you must prepare, for you are the target, the chosen one in the crosshairs of this coming storm. In these perilous times, wearing the mask is not a choice, it is a divine mandate. This mask transcends the physical. It is an emblem of spiritual discipline, a shield forged by God's own hand to protect you from the encroaching darkness. Think of it as your spiritual armor, designed to block out the invisible enemy lurking in the fog. Rejecting this mask is rejecting the protection God has so mercifully provided. It is the difference between safety and vulnerability, between standing firm in faith and falling prey to spiritual corruption. This mask quiets the voice, guards the breath, and fortifies the spirit against the insidious fog. It transforms your silence into a powerful prayer of defense. Every fiber of this mask symbolizes your commitment to survive and to thrive through this trial. It's a reminder that in times of spiritual warfare, obedience becomes your greatest weapon. Put on this shield with reverence and resolve, for it is your lifeline, the divine armor that sets you apart as the chosen protector of your own soul. In the coming days, your tongue may betray you more than any external threat. Words carry immense power. They can heal, but they can also wound and open doors to harm. God warns you to guard your speech, for every careless word is a crack in your spiritual armor, an invitation for the fog to slip inside. Silence becomes your sanctuary. It is not weakness, but strength, a shield of faith forged in stillness. The temptation to speak out, to defend yourself, or to explain will be strong, but resist it. Your silence will confuse the enemy and protect your inner light. The greatest battle you will face is one of restraint, where your tongue is the battlefield. Breathing itself must be cautious, not out of fear, but out of reverence. Each breath without the divine mask is a risk. The fog will attack through the air, penetrating without mercy. By controlling your breath and silencing your tongue, you build an invisible fortress that no spiritual storm can penetrate. Stay quiet, stay vigilant. Your silence is your salvation. Strangely, this fog bypasses those who are spiritually dead, those disconnected from higher awareness and divine connection. They remain untouched because their spirits are dormant, untouched by the light. But for you, the spiritually awake, the fog is a predator, hunting you relentlessly. This contrast is a terrifying reminder of the war being waged not in the physical world, but in the unseen realm. The spiritually dead walk unscathed, oblivious to the threat, while you are the target because your light shines brightly. The enemy fears your illumination and seeks to extinguish it by invading through breath and speech. Understand this. Your awakening is both your blessing and your burden. Your sensitivity makes you vulnerable, but also makes your spiritual shield all the more powerful if you wear it well. This battle isn't against flesh and blood. It's a cosmic struggle between light and darkness, and you're at the front line. Stand firm and mask up. What is coming is not a virus or illness that science can explain. This is a spiritual storm, a phenomenon cloaked in mystery and deception. It moves like a fog, but carries a force that can disrupt not just the body, but the soul. No medicine or physical cure will save you from this threat. This storm operates beyond human understanding, weaving through the air you breathe, slipping silently into conversations and thoughts. Its goal is not to destroy bodies, but to sever spiritual connection and faith. It's a test of your inner strength and your commitment to God's protection. Think of it like a hurricane of the spirit, invisible yet devastating. It will challenge your senses, cloud your mind, and attempt to blind you to truth. The only way to weather this storm is through faith, silence, and obedience. Your spiritual mask is the only shelter against this unrelenting tempest. Every conversation, every syllable carries weight in this crisis. God warns you that your words can either fortify your spirit or open a door to contamination. This is why silence is essential. Speaking recklessly is like throwing open your home's doors to an invading enemy. Think about the power of words in daily life. A careless phrase can start conflict, sow doubt, or invite spiritual harm. In these coming days, the stakes are exponentially higher. Your voice is not just sound. It's a channel that can carry the fog directly into your soul and the souls of those around you. To protect yourself and your community, you must speak only when absolutely necessary and with the utmost care. Let your silence be your prayer, your shield, and your fortress. Guard your words as you would guard your life, because in this moment, they truly are one and the same. This trial will not burn you with fire, but will press you with silence. Your faith will be tested not by grand miracles, but by the small, quiet battles of self-control. The urge to speak, to resist, to express frustration will challenge your spiritual resolve like never before. Think of the ancient stories of prophets who faced trials in silence and solitude. Your path is similar, not filled with spectacle, but with the humble strength of restraint. This is a spiritual workout for your soul, where patience, obedience, and faith become your greatest weapons. Remember, God's commands to stay silent and mask up are not restrictions, but invitations to grow stronger in spirit. The stillness you cultivate will become a deep well of power, and your faith will emerge from this test purified and unshakable. Hold fast. The victory is in your obedience. Though this fog spreads across the world, its attack is deeply personal. It does not strike entire populations uniformly, but targets individual souls, each person's spirit tested and challenged in unique ways. This global event is a spiritual crucible where every soul's light is examined. Imagine a vast battlefield stretching across continents, but the real fight is fought in the quiet places inside hearts. Each individual's response matters. Your obedience, your silence, your faith can tip the balance in this unseen war. You are not alone, but your choices are critical. This truth makes your mission urgent and intimate. The world's fate depends on millions of silent battles fought behind closed doors. Your mask is the frontline defense for your soul and for those around you. The global nature of this event means that preparation is universal, but your personal readiness is what matters most. God's call to mask up and stay silent is more than protection. It's an invitation to transformation. Your obedience unlocks a divine process that can renew and strengthen your spirit in ways unimaginable. This is your opportunity to emerge not just safe, but spiritually elevated. Think of a seed buried in dark soil, going through trials before it blooms into a magnificent flower. Your current trial is the darkness that precedes your rebirth. By embracing silence and submission, you become a vessel for God's transformative power, ready to shine even brighter when the fog lifts. This transformation will inspire others and mark you as a true chosen one. It's not just about survival, it's about spiritual awakening and growth. Your obedience activates this sacred metamorphosis, a testament to faith prevailing over fear. Nature itself is responding to the spiritual fog's arrival. Unusual behaviors in animals, particularly rabbits, are early warnings that the storm is near. These creatures, sensitive to unseen energies, are reacting with fear and confusion, mirroring the unrest in the spiritual realm. Rabbits, known for their alertness and sensitivity, have become unpredictable, a sign that the environment is charged with more than just physical changes. This is a real, tangible indication that the spiritual fog is not just a metaphor, it's an active force affecting all life. These signs should deepen your resolve. If even animals sense this coming danger, it's proof that your obedience and preparation are urgent. Watch for these signals, stay alert, and let them remind you of the seriousness of what lies ahead. As the fog spreads, you may experience strange and frightening symptoms: sudden fatigue, confusion, blurry vision, or even spiritual blindness. These are not ordinary ailments, but manifestations of the fog's spiritual assault. Don't ignore these signs or attribute them solely to physical causes. These symptoms are warnings from your body and spirit, urging you to take shelter in silence and faith. You may feel overwhelmed or disoriented, but remember, these trials are temporary and purposeful. They test your endurance and commitment to God's protection. Stay vigilant and don't give in to panic or despair. Your mask and obedience are your shields, even when your body feels weak. Rest when needed, but keep your spirit strong. This phase is part of the spiritual storm's passage, and it will eventually clear for those who remain steadfast. Traditional medicine can't combat this fog because its roots are spiritual, not physical. It's vital to understand that the symptoms you or others experience are manifestations of a spiritual invasion, not just a common illness. Treating it like the flu or a cold will leave you vulnerable. Prayer, fasting, silence, and spiritual discipline are your true remedies. Engage in daily spiritual practices that strengthen your faith and shield your soul. Recognize that healing begins from within, and that this is a test of your spiritual resilience. This understanding is crucial. The fog's power lies in deception, making you believe it's just a physical sickness to be treated with medicine alone. But your salvation lies in faith, obedience, and spiritual armor. Embrace this perspective fully to remain safe. The fog moves like a thief in the night, carried on the wind and flowing through the air you breathe. Because of this, God advises you to remain indoors when prompted by your spirit. Your home becomes a sanctuary, a sacred space where you can guard your breath and silence your tongue. Think of your home as a fortress against invisible enemies. Limit your exposure to the outside world and avoid unnecessary contact. The fog thrives in open spaces where air and words flow freely. By staying indoors, you reduce the risk of spiritual attack and strengthen your protective mask. Trust your instincts and the divine guidance within. If you feel led to stay inside, obey immediately. Your obedience is not confinement, but freedom. Freedom to preserve your spirit until the storm passes. Stay safe, stay quiet, and prepare for the dawn. The first day of the spiritual fog's arrival will bring a subtle, almost imperceptible change in the air around you. You won't see the fog right away, but you will feel a heaviness, a tension pressing against your chest. It's as if the atmosphere itself holds its breath, waiting for the storm to break. This shift is a warning, an invisible signal that something extraordinary and dangerous is approaching fast. You might notice your surroundings becoming eerily quiet, or experience an unsettling chill that seems to seep into your bones. These sensations are not coincidences. They are the early whispers of the spiritual battle unfolding around you. Your spirit will instinctively sense the intrusion before your eyes can confirm it. This is your cue to put on your spiritual mask fully and prepare for the days ahead. On this day, your breath becomes precious, a sacred act of survival. Guard it fiercely, for the enemy rides on the wind. The fog will attempt to invade through the very air you breathe, so retreat to places of safety and stillness. Day 1 is a test of your awareness and readiness, the opening act of a divine drama that only the chosen will fully understand. Remember, the unseen forces at work are already moving. The air's shift is a reminder that what's coming is not natural, not random. This is a spiritual storm with a purpose, and your response on day 1 will set the tone for how you withstand the entire ordeal. Trust your senses, mask up, and steel your heart. The battle begins now. As day 2 dawns, a cacophony of noise will erupt around you. Voices clamoring, rumors swirling, fears rising like a tidal wave. This spiritual fog will stir confusion in the hearts and minds of many, provoking panic and division. But amidst the chaos, your divine command is clear. Remain silent. Your silence is your sanctuary, your fortress against the storm of words that seek to pull you down. The voices of doubt and deception will grow louder, tempting you to respond, argue, or defend yourself. But every word spoken in haste is a crack in your spiritual armor, an opening for the fog to enter. Instead, embrace the power of stillness. Let silence speak louder than the noise, turning away from the clamor as an act of spiritual warfare. This is your divine discipline, the sacred quiet that preserves your soul. You may feel isolated, misunderstood, or even betrayed as confusion spreads. Know that this is part of the test, designed to shake your faith and challenge your resolve. But your silence is your strength. It protects you from being ensnared in spiritual traps and helps you maintain clarity in the fog of uncertainty. Hold firm. Your silence is a shield forged by obedience. Day 2 teaches a profound lesson. True power often lies in restraint. When the world rages, your calm and silence will be a beacon of light. Trust this process, for it will prepare you for the spiritual battles yet to come. Stay quiet, stay masked, and let your spirit be anchored in unwavering faith. By day 3, the weight of isolation will press heavily upon your heart. The silence around you may feel like a vast emptiness, a lonely wilderness where even your own thoughts seem distant. But this isolation is no mere punishment. It is a sacred separation, a divine invitation to draw closer to God and deeper into your own spirit. In this solitude, distractions fall away, revealing the raw and unfiltered truth of your faith. You may wrestle with feelings of loneliness, fear, or abandonment, but remember, God is with you in this holy silence. This separation is a refining fire, burning away everything that does not belong so that your spirit can emerge purified and strong. Resist the temptation to break the silence or seek comfort in the noise of the world. This is your spiritual retreat, a sacred space where your soul is being shaped for greater purposes. Embrace the stillness as a gift, a time for prayer, reflection, and transformation. Your obedience in this moment will carry you through the darkest nights. Isolation on day 3 is the crucible of your spiritual journey. It will test your endurance, sharpen your faith, and prepare you for the breakthrough waiting just beyond the fog. Hold fast to the knowledge that this separation is purposeful. It is the path to your divine renewal. In the midst of this spiritual trial, your mind will become a battleground where countless voices compete for your attention. Not every thought that arises is from God. Some are whispers of fear, doubt, or temptation, sent by the fog itself to lead you astray. Learning to discern these voices is crucial to surviving and thriving in this time of crisis. Spiritual discernment is more than just wisdom. It's a gift you must actively cultivate. Pay close attention to your inner dialogue and test every thought against the truth of God's word. When confusion strikes or negative thoughts flood your mind, anchor yourself in prayer and scripture. Seek clarity and refuse to be swayed by deceptive voices. Remember, the enemy often masquerades as an angel of light, disguising lies as truth. This is why vigilance is essential. Your spirit must remain alert and guarded. Surround yourself with reminders of God's promises and speak these truths aloud in moments of uncertainty. This spiritual discipline will strengthen your discernment and shield your heart from deception. Discernment is your compass in the fog. Without it, you risk wandering into dangerous spiritual traps, but with it, you will navigate the storm with confidence and peace. Train your spirit to hear God's voice clearly amid the chaos, and you will find safety in His guidance. As the fog thickens, darkness will attempt to invade even your sleep. Your dreams may become restless, filled with shadows of fear, confusion, or despair. These nightly assaults are spiritual battles aimed at weakening your resolve and shaking your faith. But you can protect yourself by surrounding your sleep with prayer and divine protection. Before resting, commit your night to God with fervent prayer. Ask for His angels to guard your dreams and for His peace to settle over your mind. Create a spiritual shield that repels the darkness and keeps your soul safe in the vulnerable hours of night. Remember, even in sleep, the battle continues. But so does God's protection. If troubling dreams arise, do not fear or ignore them. Instead, bring them before God in prayer and seek understanding and healing. These visions may carry messages or warnings, but they do not have to control you. Your faith and prayer are stronger than any shadow that tries to creep into your rest. Sleep is not a pause from the fight, but a sacred time of restoration. Protect it zealously with prayer and trust in God's power. Through this spiritual vigilance, your body and soul will regain strength to face the new day and the challenges it brings. Beware, as the fog spreads, spiritual blindness will grow among many, clouding even the sharpest minds and the most faithful hearts. This blindness is not physical, but a veil over understanding and truth. Even those considered wise or experienced in faith may fall prey to deception, unable to see the dangers lurking in plain sight. This spiritual fog dims clarity and twists perception, making it harder to distinguish truth from lies. It will attempt to lure you into complacency or false security, whispering that everything is fine when the storm rages fiercely. The wise will stumble if they let down their guard, mistaking shadows for light. To combat this, you must actively seek God's illumination through prayer, scripture, and community with other faithful souls. Surround yourself with truth and reject anything that clouds your judgment. Ask God for eyes that see clearly in the darkest times and ears that hear His voice above all others. Your vigilance in preserving spiritual sight is essential. The fog may obscure, but your faith and discernment can pierce through the darkness. Stay alert, keep your heart open, and refuse to be deceived, for clarity is your greatest defense. In this season of testing, spiritual attacks will often come disguised as emotions: anger, fear, jealousy, or despair. These feelings may arise suddenly and intensely, attempting to disrupt your peace and cloud your judgment. Recognizing that these emotions can be weaponized is vital to guarding your heart effectively. Emotions themselves are not evil, but they become dangerous when influenced by the spiritual fog's deceptive power. You may feel overwhelmed by waves of negativity that seem beyond your control. But remember, your spirit can master your emotions through prayer, meditation, and steadfast faith. Guard your heart by pausing before reacting. When strong emotions surge, invite God into the moment and ask for His peace to calm your spirit. Replace fear with faith, anger with patience, and despair with hope. This conscious effort strengthens your spiritual defenses and prevents the fog from gaining ground through your feelings. By mastering your emotions, you claim victory in this spiritual battle. Your heart becomes a sanctuary where the fog's lies cannot penetrate. Stand firm, nurture your soul, and let God's love be your shield. The fog's attack is cunning. It turns your own words into weapons against you. Every conversation, every careless phrase risks being twisted and used to harm your reputation, relationships, or spiritual standing. God commands you to stay mute when possible. Silence protects you from being ensnared and marked by the enemy. Words once spoken cannot be taken back. In these times, the enemy waits to exploit any misstep, magnifying small errors into spiritual vulnerabilities. Staying silent is not passivity, but a powerful act of wisdom and self-preservation. It deprives the enemy of ammunition and keeps your spirit intact. This command is difficult. Human nature drives us to explain, defend, or clarify. But the stakes now are far higher. Think of silence as your spiritual armor, deflecting attacks and preserving your divine calling. Your obedience in this will protect you from long-term damage and maintain your integrity. Trust in the power of quiet strength. Your silence speaks volumes and guards your soul. Speak only when guided by God, and let your silence be a testament to your unwavering faith and discipline. As the fog tightens its grip, you will notice changes not only in the world, but in those closest to you. Relationships, once steady, may become strained, as confusion and fear warp behaviors and intentions. Some loved ones may act unpredictably or even betray your trust. This testing of bonds is painful but necessary for your spiritual growth. Understand that these changes are not always personal attacks, but manifestations of the fog's influence on others' spirits. They, too, are battling invisible forces that distort their thoughts and feelings. Compassion is essential, even when it's difficult to extend it. Pray for those who seem distant or strange, asking God to protect and restore their souls. This season may force you to set boundaries, protecting your spirit by limiting exposure to toxic